Hi, my name is Lindsay Cowell, and the reason I am here is because I'm tired of insurance companies telling us what they will and will not pay for. Why will health insurance companies not pay for essential supplies such as hearing aids? We have to have separate insurance policies for eyeglasses, which is a vision insurance, or dental work, which is dental insurance, to help, and we have to pay out of pocket if we don't have insurance. My issue is hearing aids for minors or children. My son had a cyst in the draining tube of his ear. He has prosthesis eardrum and ear bones. He has moderate to severe hearing loss in the one ear. And we've tried several times to get better hearing, which means another surgery. He has had, I would say, probably 10 surgeries in his short lifetime. And all just so that we can try and adjust those ear bones to get a better hearing. They'll pay for that, but they won't pay for a hearing aid. We decided to leave him alone for a while so that he can be a boy and play football, basketball, track, whatever it may be. All the things that a boy wants to do. The insurance will pay for, our insurance that we have will pay for a hearing aid in the event of an accident, but has a mail order plan that won't do pediatric. I feel that my son should have the benefit of learning unhindered in his classroom and in very loud places, such as a gym. He can't decipher where the noise is coming from because it only comes from the one ear. So playing basketball is really hard for him to do. It is a proven reason minors need to have hearing aids for hearing loss. Without insurance, parents pay between $1,000 and $4,000 per hearing aid. I paid $1,800. I want to inform you about the importance of a hearing aid and why it is so important for minors that are still learning to have those aids. There are grants and money for minors that have parents that don't make enough money, similar to free and reduced meals at school. The parents that can pay do, and the parents that can't get to fill out a form and get their children to have free and reduced. Insurance companies can make it where they don't have to pay for hearing aids at all. My family is one of those that falls in this gap. My family makes too much money to apply for all those grants and free money, and our insurance plan is a private pay plan, so they are able to decide what they will and will not pay for. Children's brains from birth to 3 years are in a period of rapid development. Consistent sound is critical for developing normal brain pathways for hearing, speech, and language. When learning speech and language, it's vital to have language development. When first learning a language, we can't exactly teach it. Children need to be able to hear it. They can't talk to you. You can't tell them, do this. It has to be where they can hear it. Instead of children pick up on words and spoken syntax and language structure, being exposed to the language consistently. For children with hearing loss, this incidental learning will need to be supplemented by speech and language therapy that focuses on attending in the auditory input. Consistent hearing is important for children to be able to bond with parents. It builds that trust and allows for the feeling of predictable, consistent world. I found this quote, "Hearing aids can be especially helpful for children because their young brains are in a period of rapid development. Sound input improves development of speech and cognitive function." It was once explained to me that A child's brain is like a computer. It is taking everything in all at once and processing and changing and learning so rapidly, just as a computer would. In this article I found, they list that 90% of what a child knows by age 5 is learned by picked up unintentionally without being taught. Hearing loss limits the exposure of children to incidental language. Children can seem to hear okay, but is actually not hearing all of the sounds of speech, causing him to always be putting the speech puzzle together or to seem to tune out. Also, if you want him to produce clear speech, he needs to hear speech as clearly and consistently as possible. Clear speech is associated with better social acceptance as well. Most children who start school with language delays do not catch up. You cannot lapse in supporting your child's full-time hearing wearing in early childhood and expect him to catch up once he goes to school. Hearing loss and the future, early learning opportunities and or use of amplification makes all the difference in how well a child will be able to function in the hearing world as an adult. Your child is learning his attitude about his hearing aids and himself from you, so help him out. There are 20 states that require health insurance to cover the cost of a hearing aid. Most of them only cover children. The states that do require coverage for children: Colorado, Delaware, Georgia, Kentucky, Louisiana, Maine, Maryland, Massachusetts, Minnesota, Missouri, New Jersey, New Mexico, North Carolina, Oklahoma, Oregon, Tennessee, and Texas. Colorado requires insurance providers to cover hearing aids for children under 18 years of age with medical necessity. Coverage must include a new hearing aid every 5 years, a new hearing aid when alterations to be existing hearing aids cannot meet the needs of the child, and services and supplies such as the initial assessment, fittings, adjustments, and auditory training. Arkansas, Connecticut, Illinois, New Hampshire, and Rhode Island, these states require coverage for both hearing aids and cochlea implants for children. A self-paid plan, like I mentioned earlier, is what I ended up getting. They can do whatever they want. Basically, the insurance company, or actually the company, is so large that they actually pay their insurance premiums by themselves. So if I go to the doctor and my copay is a $20 copay, the company itself pays the rest instead of having monthly premiums and the insurance covering it. And they can decide what they want to pay and what they don't. In the paperwork, it lists the only reasons for a hearing aid are accident. For some reason, they've deemed my son's hearing aid as not a necessity. So what I'm asking is for you to contact your employers, your insurance companies, your congressmen, send in letters, write emails, and make phone calls. Ask them to make insurance companies pay for hearing aids for minors, no matter what the parent makes in money. Whether the minor had an accident or it is a medical issue, contact your HR department, your insurance company, as many congressmen as you can. Again, send those letters, emails, and make those phone calls. You may not be in this situation where your children or your family's children, you may have nieces and nephews or whoever that may be coming up in life that turn out to need a hearing aid. You know, it may not be right now, but sometime you may need this. Do the work now before you're in the spot of having to pay $1,800 for a hearing aid. Imagine if you needed a hearing aid for your child. Does your insurance pay for a hearing aid? What are their stipulations on paying for that hearing aid? Will they pay for it if there's a medical issues or an accident? How much money does your family make? Are you eligible for public money? Could you afford to pay for one hearing aid that costs between $1,000 and $4,000? Please take these steps before you need to. If we come together and force them, maybe we can make those changes together. So in conclusion, minors need to be able to hear their parents' voices. They need to hear singing, laughter, the sound of rain, and anything else in their surroundings. The more they hear, the better they will learn and grow up and be well-adjusted adults. Remember, children's brains are in overdrive when they are young. We need to give them every tool they need to succeed. Insurance companies should not be allowed to deny the cost of a hearing aid. Please call your employer or HR department, call your insurance companies, call your congressmen, heck, call the president. Because it might be you someday that needs this hearing aid in your family, for your children. Do the legwork now. Make those calls. If not for your family, do it for mine. Believe me, I made the payments to my son's doctor. I paid that $1,800 for my son's hearing aid. Had he needed a better hearing aid, I would have paid for that one. I have already called our insurance companies. My husband's called his employer, showing them that they have chosen for their families. And I've already started contacting the governor and senator, hoping to make them aware of what insurance companies are asking parents and their children. I ask you to do the same. Help me in contacting the appropriate people and showing them that this is not right. Thank you from the bottom of my heart listening to me. And again, help me in getting other children the essential health devices they need and getting the insurance companies to pay for it.